Hey crew, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's fun video we are going to be looking at a new rotary tool. Now when I am on this platform, I constantly get emails on stuff that people want me to review or collaborate with, and I'm very selective with what I like to review because the stuff I want to review would be stuff I could practically use out here in the workshop instead of a one-time thing, if that makes any sense. But this company reached out to me and asked me if they would review their new rotary tool, and I looked at it and I thought, hey, that could be very useful in the workshop or doing live scroll saw demos. So I said absolutely, and they sent it to me. It arrived the other day on the doorstep, and here you see it is in the box. It's nice and compact, about the size of a tissue box, you know, for Kleenex. But here you see it. It's wrapped in the protective plastic coating here. It says KRT R3 Max 70 accessories, and the company is KATERK KRT. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly, but there is the name. Of course you do have to charge it, but I thought it would be really cool to find some stuff to actually demo with this today. I'm going to cut out a shape over at the scroll saw and then see how well this tool will sand, shape, and contour it in today's video. I've also got a 3D print that I want to clean up because I use rotary tools a lot with the 3D printing side of things. You guys know I do a lot of 3D printing behind the scenes for people. But without further ado, let's move the camera over here to the workbench where we can get this unboxed and get it fully looked at, and then probably get it charged up so we can get it reviewed. And over here on the workbench, we're going to take the Swiss Army knife and cut away the plastic that's wrapped around the box and open it and get a look at this new rotary tool. It comes in a nice carrying case for travel purposes, and it zips up, and inside you have your box of accessories, the rotary tool itself, nice sleek design, the charging cable, and of course it charges by USB, and I'll go on and plug that up and get it charging, and I'll consult the instruction manual and glance at it while we get projects ready to test the rotary tool with. So I booted up the Ender 3 3D printer, and I'm printing with longer PLA green filament here. This will be a camera adapter when it gets done, and I'll be using the rotary tool on one of the pieces that go on this just to see how well it can cut metal. But of course we needed the part 3D printed first. You guys know I do a lot of 3D printing behind the scenes, so the 3D printer is basically running constantly whenever I am out in the workshop. But over at the scroll saw, I took a scrap piece of 3/4 inch plywood and traced a star template I had from a previous project onto it. I thought it would be nice to do some sanding and carving on a star shape, and my scroll saw blade broke there, so I'm quickly putting in another number 5 ultra reverse tooth blade to finish the cut here. That was an older scroll saw blade I was using, in case anyone was wondering. But of course pine is a very soft wood to use for demo purposes. And now over at the laser, I set the Tukai laser at a very low power and fast speed, and I laser etched a classic Pirate Jolly Roger onto another scrap piece of 3/4 inch pine because I wanted to try engraving it with the rotary tool. And then we're also going to be cleaning up the supports off a 3D print and cutting a piece of metal in this video here. But after this was done, we were ready to officially begin testing. And back over at the workbench, the rotary tool is charged, and I put in a carving bit that had a small ball on the end of it, and I went around on all of those lines that were engraved over at the laser. And this rotary tool is phenomenal. I love how it has the LED lights to illuminate what you are working on, and I was able to easily follow that line that the laser had etched onto the 3/4 inch pine. What I'll do is leave links to where this rotary tool can be picked up online. I'd highly recommend it if you do a lot of rotary sanding and carving. And now we are on the star, and I'm engraving some lines and shapes on it. and then I'm going to switch to a little drum sander here, and I'm going to do some power sanding here. And the rotary tool is going through it just like butter. And if you guys like what you're seeing, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to my channel and follow me across all my social media feeds under the Artisan Pirate name. I'd really appreciate the support. And now what I'm doing here is cleaning off the supports for a 3D printed object. And I've put a disc sander on the back to where I can clean up those rough edges on the back of the 3D print. And I can slow the rotary tool down to where it doesn't melt the plastic from the 3D print. So it's real cool to be able to quickly clean up the multitude of 3D prints that I do. Got it nice and smooth. And the final test for today's video was cutting a 1/4 by 20 bolt. So I have a cutoff wheel installed in the rotary tool now. And I don't know if the sparks are coming up on camera, but I do have safety goggles on here, or safety glasses on rather, while I am cutting this bolt to the length that it will be needed for the jig we 3D printed earlier in the video. But I'm just taking slow passes here. I don't want to damage the threads, because the threads is what the cameras will of course attach to. But once I get it completely cut off, of course it is very hot, so I'll set it down and let it cool off, and then it will be ready to get out some medium grade CA glue and activator from Klingspor Woodworking Shop and glue the pieces we 3D printed together. The actual bolt goes in this hole here, and I'll fill it in with CA glue. Epoxy would also work for this. And I'll spray the activator on it, and I'll put the nut onto the thumb screw here and glue it in the same manner. But after it completely dried and we were ready to fully assemble it, all of the test in today's video was complete. Thank you all for watching. And that is going to wrap up my review of the KATERK, again I hope I'm pronouncing that properly, rotary tool that is completely cordless. And man, this thing packs quite a punch. It did not take long at all for it to charge up. You can see it's got the USB charging cable there that comes with it. We charged it over on the workbench, and it didn't again take long at all. And while it was charging, we got some other stuff ready to demo this with, and I'm going to show all the pieces we demoed in today's video as we get ready to close and wrap up. But it comes on. You can see this button here. It will come on. You can hear it come on. It's very, very silent. You have a nice LED here, so it'll illuminate what you are trying to do. As you can see it illuminating my hand there. I still have the cutoff wheel on it, and you can see it's got the battery charger there, so you can see it is fully charged. And if it's coming up, you see a 3 there, so this is the 3rd speed. So you have 3, 4, 5. 5 is the highest speed. Then you can cycle back to 1, 2, 3. So it's variable speed. So that's really cool depending on what types of materials you are etching, you're engraving, you're sanding or shaping. And then to turn the rotary tool off, you just hold the button down and it powers off. So really cool. I really love that it's cordless. I can see myself taking this with me on the go when I go do live scroll saw woodworking demos, because I've never been able to fully finish a project when I do live scroll saw demos. Of course, that's primarily what I'm known for, is scroll saw woodworking. But this, I can charge it up, put it in its compact carrying case here, and drop it into my demo box to take with me with the scroll saw to do some actual sanding in front of people and show them. Of course, I do a lot of sanding, shaping, and contouring with the custom compound cut keychains I cut out over at the scroll saw. I'll take the sanding drum, and you can see here I will go in and I will shape everything to make them a little less more blocky in appearance and a lot more comfortable to hold in the hand. So this is going to be a very versatile tool to have out in the workshop and take with me when I do demos. It comes with a whole little plastic container full of bits, the common accessories that are for rotary tools. You can see it here. I don't want anything to spill out. It does have some buffing and polishing wheels that I didn't even use in today's video, but if you shine jewelry up, you know, metals, stuff like that, gemstones, those are good for that. You have the little sanding drums here, and then you have the sander You can see where it's got wood on it from where I used it. You have the cutoff wheel, the engravers. So many cool accessories come with this. As a matter of fact, the box indicates 70 accessories with this kit. And what I'll do is leave affiliate links and contact links down in the description box below if you guys want to go and pick up one of these to have in your tool arsenal out in your garage or workshop. But over at the laser, we laser etched a Pirate Jolly Roger over on the 2K laser, and then I took the engraving bit and went in and engraved it, and you can easily tell what that is. Now this is just basic 3/4 inch pine shelving board. Of course, pine is a very soft material to work with, and of course when you're sanding or shaping, wear safety protection on your eyes. These are the Klingspor blue safety goggles that I like to wear when I'm at the table saw or router table or something like that. But you can see there the Jolly Roger, and it didn't take me long due to the 5 variable speeds that the rotary tool has for me to go in here and do everything. So very, very cool and creative. You can see it there. Really nice, and opens up a lot of possibilities. And then we went over to the scroll saw and we sawed out a basic star shape here. It was a template I had out here from a previous project that I'd done, and we cut it again out of 3/4 inch pine shelving board. And you can see I went in here and sanded, shaped, and contoured everything. And I was just scratching the surface of what this thing can do with wood. Of course, you can get better carving bits online from places like Klingspor and places like that to really get in there and shape everything. So this is a very powerful tool, and I used it for all of what I am showing you here, as you guys seen in the time-lapse portion. But there is a star. I just drew some lines on it and engraved them, and then I switched to the sanding drum to go in and sand everything. So that was really, really cool. And then I went to the sanding disc, and we cleaned up the backside of a 3D print. Now this is a 3D print file from the Thingiverse website, and you can see here is the iconic Bigfoot. I do believe in the mysterious and mythological creature that lives out in nature, but because of the nature of this, I had to print it on its back for it to come out properly, for all the hands and the fingers and all to come out properly. So it had supports down here where it printed like this to make everything level. So what you've seen me do was break away all of the supports, and then I took the sanding disc and I went in here and cleaned the back of him up and smoothed everything out. I use a rotary tool a ton with the 3D printers by cleaning up stuff just like this. As a matter of fact, here's another file from the Thingiverse website that I've still got to clean up, and this is a mythological leaf themed dragon, but you can see how it built up supports to support the wings while they were being 3D printed. So again, just like that, all the supports will be broken away, and I can take the sander, and on a low speed setting, because this is plastic, of course it would melt if it got too hot, I can go in here and clean up and shape everything. So that's one thing I'm really impressed with this. Also, talking about heat, it does say in the instruction manual here, if you feel this tool heating up and overheating, just turn it off and lay it aside and let it cool down. You don't want to overheat and damage the battery on the inside. So I don't think you could be using this for hours upon hours on end. Again, this is just a quick tool to pick up and do some quick dremeling and rotary sanding with. And then the last thing we done was we cut off a 1/4 by 20 bolt. This was the 3D print you guys seen printing in today's video, but I cut it off 2 sides to go in there, and then we glued it in with CA glue and activator. And again, this is a file from the Thingiverse website, and of course I was wearing the glasses when I was cutting the metal. I don't know if the sparks come up on camera when I was cutting it off with this cutoff wheel, but you can see here how the 2 pieces went together. And what this is a camera mount for tripods and GoPros. It has the slots there for the GoPro adapters and everything, and I use these all the time with my cameras, because cameras most of the time have a 1/4 by 20 thread count there in the bottom. And there you can see how it'll go in nice and snugly, and then I can attach it here with whatever accessory I want to attach it with. As a matter of fact, I've got some pieces here that I've 3D printed. You can see they need to be cleaned up as well with the rotary tool, because I want to make a camera mount on the inside of the laser for laser engraving, filming, purposes, but that is just what we done there. So I pretty much covered all the bases except polishing that this rotary tool is capable of, and I feel like it is a very handy tool to have. Again, you just press and hold the power button and you can hear how quiet it is, and then you do have the LED kit on it to give you a better viewpoint on whatever you are sanding, shaping, or contouring. But really, really cool. I want to once again thank KATERK, I hope again I'm pronouncing that name properly, for trusting me with this review, and I hope in some way, shape, or form it inspired you guys in today's video to maybe go out and look at this rotary tool or a similar rotary tool to again add to your tool arsenal out in your garage or workshop. Once again, all affiliate links will be linked down in the description box below this video. But that is going to wrap it up for this one, crew. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you'll click that subscribe button and also follow me across all my social media feeds under the Artisan Pirate name. As always, links to contact me as well as all my social media feeds will always be linked down in the description box below these videos. That's about all for this one, and remember, crew, if I can make it or do it, so can you guys. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.